So this is one of the best chapters in the Culling game so far. I had a really good time with this one. So much fun. So coming off at the end of the previous chapter, where we saw Kashimo bringing Panda to death's door, Hakari showed up at the last second, and it brings us to the beginning of this chapter where he's just straight up blasting him immediately into some shipping containers. Then he tries to do like this swinging drop kick type move to him, but Kashimo narrowly evades it. And then Hakari's like, "Do you feel a tingle?" In reference to Kashimo's cursed energy trait, which he acknowledges is barely affecting Hakari. And then we get a little further breakdown of it where it says combining his cursed energy trait effect makes it difficult to defend with simple physical reinforcement through cursed energy. So even if you do block and use cursed energy along with it, you're still going to get shocked. However, in Hakari's case, his cursed energy output is high enough that he could just ignore it. And Kashimo also points out that there's mysterious music coming from him. And in the first couple pages here, we can see these musical notes coming out of Hakari. And this all goes back to his jackpot, because it says immediately after a jackpot, the private Pure Love Train theme song Admiring You plays for 4 minutes and 11 seconds. So at the end of chapter 183, we saw that Hakari did in fact get his jackpot after using his domain expansion Idle Death Gamble against Charles. And at the end, we kind of just saw him kick him in the face, and it just ended there. So we didn't know anything else that was going on, and I'm assuming that since we haven't seen Charles since then, he's been defeated, and that's why Hakari is here. But also, he's still riding off of that jackpot because this theme song is still playing. And also, if you're confused as to what is going on with Hakari's domain expansion and how it works, check out this video here. I think I explained it pretty good, or at least as best as I could at the time, without being like too superfluous and trying to make it unnecessarily confusing. Hey, also guys, if you like my Jujutsu Kaisen content, please subscribe. A lot of you consistently watch these videos, but you don't subscribe, so in case you just need to be reminded, here you go. Thanks. But anyway, they properly introduce themselves to each other, and Hakari realizes that like, oh, hey, this is Kashimo, that guy that we were talking about coming into this arc, and he was actually the guy that I was supposed to go after, because when they were looking at the chart of players, Kashimo and Higuruma were the two that had at least 100 points. And they figured that Kashimo was probably going to be the strongest, so Hakari took it upon himself to go after Kashimo. So it's coming full circle here. And then this leads to Hakari asking like, hey, you know, if I win, let me use your points. And Kashimo's like compliant about it. He's like, do as you like. You're with Panda, right? Tell me what you know about Sukuna if you live through this. And Hakari's like kind of bothered by it. And of course, this goes back to Kashimo's main motivation here, or at least the main motivation that we know about him. And it's that he's like super interested in Sukuna. I assume that he, you know, probably wants to fight him or something, or, you know, at the very least be his disciple, or it's up in the air, but we'll eventually find out. Then suddenly Hakari's like, oh yeah, here it comes. Cursed energy bonus. Then Hakari kind of stops fighting back and takes some shots from Kashimo. And Kashimo's confused by this. He's like, he's totally caving in. Don't disappoint. And then Hakari just levels Kashimo again. And then right after, he does like the Michael Jackson crotch grab move and then dips off and knees him in the stomach. Then they go into like this quick scuffle where Kashimo has Hakari's leg, and Hakari like tries to hammer fist him or something, but Kashimo narrowly evades it. And as he springs away, he's like, I've charged up enough. This is in reference to his cursed energy trait that we were introduced to 2 chapters ago when he was going against Panda initially, where essentially he can build up this electrical charge in him through his cursed energy manipulation. And when he strikes you, he can give you a positive charge, as we see him elbowing Hakari in the face here, and then that allows him to release the negative charge that was built up in him. And since the negative and the positive charges attract, he shoots like a lightning bolt at you. And this straight up blows off Hakari's arm here. And this is understandable because when he hit Panda's sister form with this, it like blew her up too. And Kashimo assumes that like it's pretty much over at this point, so he's going to pile on. But Hakari is like unfazed by this and just kicks Kashimo in the face. And then his arm just grows back immediately, Sukuna style. And then we get an explanation as to what's going on with Hakari's jackpot from Idle Death Gamble. And it says, resulting in a bonus of unlimited cursed energy throughout the round. Hakari never learned reverse curse technique. However, the unlimited cursed energy causes his body to reflexively perform reverse curse technique to prevent his body from breaking. In other words, Hakari is unkillable for 4 minutes and 11 seconds immediately after a jackpot. This is just amazing. I love this so much. Yes, it's kind of broken, but at the same time it's not, because he's getting like a time limit similar to what we saw with Akotu once his abilities were fully explained, or for the most part. I mean, yeah, sure, there is a luck factor in it, but Hakari is obviously a master of this, and there's so many luck boosters that make it more favorable for him to get the jackpot, on top of you just being inside of his domain and being susceptible to it. But like I said, this is just incredible because it's literally saying he's unkillable here. Like, I'm pretty sure even if like you blow off his head or just explode him, he'll just come back. I mean, I don't know how far it goes. I don't know if you like vaporize him, he'll come back. But so far it seems like if he's hitting this jackpot for 4 minutes and 11 seconds, you better just run. I mean, if you're Gojo or somebody on that level, I'm sure you could take care of him. Like if Gojo uses Infinite Void or something, then Hakari's abilities are irrelevant here. But you know, for 99% of the cast in this series, you're pretty much screwed if Hakari hits this on you. But we're coming to the end of the chapter here, where Kashimo points out that his music has ended and his cursed energy is starting to recede, which implies that the 4 minutes and 11 seconds are up. And it makes sense considering that he hit it going against Charles, and then he had to, you know, come over to save Panda and everything. But it doesn't matter because Hakari immediately goes back into his domain expansion. And then the ending exposition here says, during the round, his cursed energy and expended curse technique replenish. As long as Hakari keeps hitting the jackpot, he can open his domain over and over. So just when you thought Hakari was overpowered, it goes to the next level here. So just like a good gamer, I'll say, somebody who really understands how to manipulate and exploit a game, or in Hakari's case more so a gambler, he's treating it like clockwork here, because as soon as Kashimo realized that the music ended and his cursed energy rescinded, he went right back into the domain, because he's going to gamble once again, which on paper he can do infinitely as long as he keeps hitting the jackpot. And like I said, the way that his domain expansion works with all of the multipliers and dynamics that allow him to keep activating the game, he's bound to get the jackpot, if you of course don't defeat him and just allow him to keep doing what he's doing. As we saw, Charles was overwhelmed by it, but I think it's going to be different here with Kashimo, since Kashimo is at Hakari's level, if not at a higher. It remains to be seen at this point. So I don't think Kashimo is going to be as susceptible to idle death gamble as Charles was. Also, another big thing that we have to remember is that Kashimo hasn't revealed his curse technique yet, and I think that's going to be the big reveal in the next chapter, the thing that is going to turn the tables on Hakari here. But even aside from that, what is Kashimo's domain expansion? Like, is Kashimo just immediately going to activate that and have it overtake Hakari's own domain? Because that's, you know, very likely at this point too. It's not going to be easy for Hakari at all. Like, this chapter was more so, I think, his big moment, but I think it's probably going to decline after this, and Kashimo is really going to show the crazy powerhouse that he is, because Hakari hasn't really had much adversity at this point, and I think at least the next 2 chapters are going to be that time for him. But I do think that Hakari will win this in the end. I don't think he's going to lose, and I definitely don't think he's going to die. I also don't think we've seen the end of Hakari's power-ups or his jackpots, because I'm sure he has another one besides just gaining infinite cursed energy. I mean, your guess is as good as mine as to what it could be, but I'm sure that'll be like another big triumphant reveal going into this fight. But let me know what you think about this in the comments, guys, and if you liked it, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.